Namaste, Soul Savants. Welcome all Soul Savants to this channel. We're going to do a video regarding Soul Savants and what that could entail. But today's video, I had this on the board to do, but episode 5's comments, one of the comments, we discussed what I'm discussing today. So thank you for that. And that's what we're doing this week. So today's video, episode 6, is called The Law of One. And I believe that when you're a soul savant, you totally understand that concept. Now, to me, it's very logical. Back in 2005, I was researching on the internet and came across a guy, David All Is One, and he's out there. He's a friend of mine now on Facebook. Even though I'm not on Facebook, he's there as a friend. And he had written a book, The Law of One, and his story and how he came about, an amazing experience that he had with the monks in the high Himalayas. And he sent me the manuscript, and immediately, wow, it was just amazing how I felt, my understanding. And ever since, of course, I always knew it. As soul savants, we know all of this. This lifetime, early life, has been about reminding ourselves of what we already knew as consciousness. So I read that manuscript, and ever since, so that's 21 years, I've always had the understanding that we are all one, and that it's logical. It's not just pie in the sky thinking. It's scientific, okay? So for me, I think I related it to the microcosm and the macrocosm, and myself being microcosm, and all of outside of myself being the macrocosm, and humanity as one family. And old scriptures talk about this. We are brothers and sisters. We are one, all one, and we move as one, depending on the energy of the microcosm, the individual. And that's why this is so important in these times, because in the Aquarian age, the individual's energy will be a part of the macrocosm's energy. So let's just call the macrocosm the collective. All right. So those who are soul savants totally get it. There's many out there that don't get it. And that's why when we look outside of ourselves into the macrocosm, we see that all is not well. There is unrest. And why would there be unrest? Because of the lack of consciousness, wisdom, that we are all one. Because if you knew that, you wouldn't want to hurt yourself. And Yehoshua discussed that in the age of Pisces, heralding in the age of Pisces in the scriptures. He didn't go as far as to say we are all one, but he said we are brothers and sisters under one Father, which I'll call consciousness. Okay? So I'm pretty sure you guys will get that. But this episode is to encourage you that you're on the right track as a soul savant, because we're all dotted all over this world. And if we have been shown these truths, and science has proven these truths, then how do we live these truths? And I'll get to that towards the end of the video. So just a few notes that I took, with keywords that I took, that could help someone really coming to the understanding and the awareness that we are all one. We've heard of the butterfly effect. something happens over this. If a butterfly flaps its wings over this side of the planet, collective, it can be felt on the other side. There's even a movie about that. 6 degrees of separation. There's a movie about that as well. That if we all go back through ancestry.com, we'll eventually all get to the one, right? And that can even happen in your local community. It happens more so when you're paying off karma. I noticed it more when I was paying off karma. Now that my karma's paid, I don't have those synchronicities with people anymore because the karma's paid. Okay, it's all new. It's all new creation for me. So 6 degrees of separation, if we go through the matrix, we can connect with everybody, all right? And the science has explained to us that we are all one. Okay, it's not just a spiritual philosophy or thought, right? Science has proven that. And coming into the Aquarian age, we will individuate. And the whole idea of individuating is so that it can add a higher frequency because the individual is in alignment with self. Then the macrocosm is raised as a high frequency by each individual raising their own frequency through individuation. And the one on planet here adds to the Schumann resonance. So Google that if you haven't heard that, but I'm pretty sure most of you would have, where that is a measurement of the frequency on Earth and where the collective is as far as that Schumann resonance goes. But I don't want to get too technical because to become a soul savant and to become a finder and whole and individuated sovereign self, it shouldn't be too hard because these truths are spoken to our hearts. The study, the research is there to help the mind to accept, for acceptance, because the mind has been conditioned for many different families and cultures and ways of thinking and all of that. And as we move through, and the dross, as alchemists, soul savants, the dross rises to the surface, the shit, the crap, the lies, the distortions, the illusions. And then the gold is left after the dross rises to the surface. And the dross really is believing that we are not all one, that we're all separate, we're all little powerful whatevers without any connection to each other or responsibility to each other. So if everyone on planet understood the one, we'd have peace on Earth, for sure, for sure. So there's an even deeper place to go beyond the knowledge, understanding, acceptance that we're all one. And that is being in that energy 24/7. Something happened after meditation for me this morning, and I have not had this happen for a very, very long time because I have had to, the last 9 year cycle of my life was shadow work and healing and allowing the dross to come to the surface. But this morning, my 7th chakra, the SAHASRARA chakra, didn't close. Well, it didn't not close, but after my meditation and stepping into my day, it remained open to the point where I didn't want to go into the gym with it opened that wide. So then I did a little bit of research bit of Indian philosophy. And having your seventh chakra open 24/7 is your connection to the one. And I sit here feeling that energy, even though I'm talking and doing life things, as opposed to being in meditation with my eyes closed. I'm in connection with divine source, which is an even deeper energy, being in the one. And so for me, that's an even more beautiful revelation. And this is how I want to live. I'm not going to lose this today. And now that I'm aware and clarity, having clarity and understanding, which is revelation, this is a higher consciousness of the one. So it's not just a belief, it's not just a philosophy. It's actually being part of one consciously. However, that seventh chakra has to be open. So divine energy flows through, keeps on flowing. Like stars shine bright. That's all of us. We're all stars. And to have that seventh chakra open to the one macrocosm, even bigger than the collective, including our solar system, the universe, divine consciousness, at one with all of that energy. It's a very high frequency to live in day to day. And we all know what can take us out of that. Lower density situations. It's very exciting. It's extremely exciting. And something to really work on, keeping that seventh chakra open without losing groundedness. Okay, and that's what can happen. Now, the chakras 1 to 6 will be in the description box, how I worked on those meditations, because there's power. There's information to start the video, and then there's a meditation, and the power is in that meditation. Very anointed man. I'm not leading the meditation. It's Indian, okay? And the hertzes are very high. You know what I mean by that, I hope. The frequencies. So looking outside at everything while maintaining oneness with the divine, with the seventh chakra open. If you looked outside and tried to define it, it looks like a concentration camp, a war camp. It seriously does. Not here, not here, not in this vessel, and not through you to you. There's big changes coming. Mental changes. You'll find that information coming up on my other channel. Huge changes that the mind will need to take into account for how you live your day-to-day life. This is a great place to be with the seventh chakra open, in connection with the divine, because nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. And we will go on later to talk about connection with that divine and the reverse aging that brings, the magic that brings. And I know soul savants, you all know that there's magic, there's more than what the eyes and senses can see, feel, touch, hear. There's sounds, high frequencies that we don't hear with our human ears. This is all going to come into play in the next 7 years. So I encourage you, press in every day. to meditation, to chakra clearing, and become the vessel that you were always meant to become, that you were until you were conditioned. You'll be reconditioning yourself. It's a commitment. But when you're living in peace and serenity every day, there's a big payoff too. And that's that peace and serenity, especially soul savants that have come and joined families that were highly dysfunctional, the lineages that had lots of shadows. Most of your life would have been clearing those shadows. And once the shadows are clear and the fragmented parts of yourself can come back within, then you are balanced and grounded enough to have that seventh chakra open 24/7. And there's something else that's great about having that chakra open. After all the shadow work, there's another job to do, and that is to call in abundance, the abundance. Otherwise, it's imbalanced. You've got all this divine energy flowing through you, out of you into the collective. There needs to be something come back to you. Otherwise, you're forever empty. You fill your cup, overflows, it's empty. Fill your cup, overflows, it's empty. That's hard work. There's another level to it, but I won't discuss it today. Let's just get into the chakra clearing. And when you can actually be aware and know that the seventh chakra is opening, I can't not miss it. My whole head feels like I've got a swimming cap on it, right? It's electrical energy. When you can keep that open 24/7, there's so much more. There's so much more for us soul savants to experience on this planet. We were promised this. Years and years, prophecies, channelings that they're all saying this, but let's actually experience it. And I know we can. So I love you all. Thank you all so much. We're all stars, so let's shine. We're just like those stars out there in the macrocosm. We are a star energetically. We look into the night sky, shine. That's actually what's going on here. But we're not shining like a star because we're not in the night sky. Think about that. All right, I love you. Okay, and I will see you next week. Thank you all so much for watching.